I learned to eat before I was starving. I used to think skipping meals was just what busy people did. Wake up late, check my phone, jump into work. I'd pour a coffee, maybe grab a biscuit, and start replying to emails. That was my breakfast. Some days, not even that. I told myself, I'm not a breakfast person. I said it with pride, like it made me more productive, more focused. But really, I was running on empty and calling it discipline. By 4 p.m., I was a mess. Head heavy, mood low, hands a bit shaky. I'd feel dizzy if I stood up too fast. I was tired in a way that sleep couldn't fix. Still, I kept pushing. More coffee, more screen time, more just get it done. I didn't realize my body had been trying to talk to me. It wasn't just hunger, it was fatigue, irritability, brain fog. My body was waving red flags, and I kept walking right past them. Because in my mind, this was how life worked. You wake up, rush through the day, and eat when you remember if you remember. I thought I was being strong. I thought skipping food was just being efficient. I didn't realize I was burning myself out from the inside. Food wasn't a reward. It wasn't a treat. It was fuel. And I was running low every single day. But I ignored it. Until I couldn't. I didn't see it at first. It was just one tired day after another. I'd wake up already exhausted. I'd hit snooze 3 times, then rush to catch up on whatever I was supposed to have done yesterday. I'd skip breakfast. Sometimes even lunch. I'd tell myself, I'll eat later once I finish this. But later never came. By the time I noticed my stomach growling, it was already too late. I'd grab the first thing I could find: toast, crisps, leftover cake, anything easy and fast. That was dinner, if I even remembered to eat it. Then I'd crash emotionally, physically, mentally, and it kept happening. Over and over again. I wasn't eating real meals. I wasn't fueling my body. I was patching holes. I was pouring tea into a cracked cup and wondering why it never stayed full. My hand started shaking, sometimes quietly, like a warning I kept ignoring. I couldn't focus. I'd reread the same sentence 5 times and still not understand it. My head would feel foggy, like I was underwater. And I snapped. At my friends, my partner, even strangers. Small things would annoy me: noise, delays, even kindness. Someone would ask, "Have you eaten today?" And I'd roll my eyes. I'm fine. I'm just busy. But I wasn't fine. I was running on adrenaline and caffeine. I was masking burnout with multitasking. And I thought that was normal. It wasn't. Looking back, I realized I had trained myself to ignore hunger, not just physical hunger, but emotional and mental too. I didn't know I was starving. Not just for food, but for care, for rest, for attention to my own needs. And that kind of starvation, it sneaks up on you, quietly, until it doesn't. Until one day, your body decides it's done waiting. It happened on a Tuesday. I was in a Zoom meeting with a client, nodding along, pretending to listen while trying to finish a last-minute pitch deck. I had a glass of water on the desk. No food. I hadn't eaten anything solid since the previous evening, just coffee and 2 biscuits that morning. I felt a little lightheaded, but I brushed it off. I'll eat after this, I told myself, like I always did. Then the screen started spinning. I remember blinking hard, trying to focus. My fingers slowed on the keyboard, my mouth went dry, and then everything went black. I came to lying awkwardly on the floor, laptop open, chair tipped over. I could hear my phone buzzing, someone still on the call, panicked. "Are you okay? Can you hear me?" I sat up slowly, my heart pounding, body trembling. I was sweating, shaking, confused. Someone texted, "When did you last eat?" And that's when I froze, because I didn't know. I couldn't remember. I looked around my flat, silent, dark, cold, empty coffee mugs, crumbs, takeaway wrappers from 2 nights ago. I opened the fridge, a bottle of ketchup, half a lemon, and oat milk. That was it. I checked the time. I'd gone nearly 18 hours without a proper meal, and I hadn't even meant to. It wasn't part of a diet. It wasn't some kind of fasting experiment. I had simply forgotten to care. That scared me. It scared me more than the fainting, more than the silence of my flat, more than the cold floor against my skin. I had ignored my body for so long that it had to shut me down just to get my attention. I wasn't invincible. I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't just busy. I was starving and didn't even realize it. That moment changed something in me. It wasn't dramatic. Just quiet, sobering truth. I had to start treating my body like it mattered, because no one else could do it for me. A day after fainting, I sat in my GP's office, trying not to feel embarrassed. I told her everything well, most of it. About the skipped meals, the coffee, the crashing in the afternoon, the blackout. She nodded, asked a few gentle questions, then took some blood. When the results came back, the answer was simple. Your blood sugar is low, she said. Consistently low. You're running on fumes. It wasn't a big diagnosis. No dramatic illness, just a body waving a white flag. Then she looked at me and said, "You need to eat. Properly. Early. Regularly. Before you're starving." I almost laughed. That was it? Eat? She saw the look on my face and added, "It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people forget to take care of themselves, especially when life feels out of control." I nodded, but I felt silly. All this stress, all this crashing, all this burnout, and the solution was eating? I walked home in silence, thinking about her words. Eat before you're starving. That line stayed with me, because honestly, I didn't know how to do that. I had ignored my hunger cues for so long that I didn't even feel them anymore. Food wasn't a rhythmit, was an emergency button. I only ate when I felt like I was about to collapse. So I tried. Not a new diet, not a juice cleanse, just something small. A bowl of oats in the morning, half a sandwich at noon, an apple before a meeting. It felt strange at first, like I was doing something unnecessary. I kept expecting guilt to show up, like I hadn't earned the right to eat yet. But slowly, I noticed something. I could think more clearly. I didn't snap as much. I stopped shaking. I wasn't trying to lose weight. I wasn't trying to be healthy. I was just trying to stay upright. And for the first time in ages, I felt like I could. I didn't wake up one day and suddenly become someone who meal prepped or ate perfectly. I started small. A slice of toast with peanut butter, a boiled egg, a banana. Nothing fancy, just something in my system before noon. That was my only rule at first. Eat something before noon. I set reminders on my phone. Eat. That's all the notification said. At first I'd ignore it. Then 5 minutes later it would buzz again. Still haven't eaten. Eventually I listened. I bought a small lunchbox and packed simple things I could eat between meetings: nuts, fruit, sandwiches. I didn't wait to feel shaky. I didn't wait until I was dizzy. I ate because I needed to stay upright. That part was new, eating without hunger. It felt strange, almost fake, like I was forcing it. But I realized my hunger cues had been silent for so long that I had to rebuild them from scratch. Some days I forgot. Some days I didn't feel like it. But most days, I tried. Each meal wasn't perfect. Some were rushed. Some were just a protein bar and a tea, but they were fuel. And for the first time in a long while, I started treating food like it mattered. I stopped seeing food as a luxury or something I had to earn. It wasn't a treat. It wasn't a reward for finishing work. It was basic maintenance, like putting petrol in a car. And when I ate, even a little, I noticed the difference. I didn't crash at 4 p.m. I didn't snap at people. I didn't feel that hollow, sinking feeling that used to hit me out of nowhere. It wasn't about eating healthy. It was about eating it all. That's how the habit grew. One boiled egg at a time, one reminder at a time, one quiet choice after another. And slowly, my body started trusting me again. I used to think I was being disciplined. Skipping meals, powering through, ignoring hunger. I wore it like a badge of honor. I thought I was being strong, focused, productive. But the truth? I was just ignoring myself. What I called discipline was actually neglect. I had trained myself to function under strain, to treat hunger like a weakness, to treat rest like laziness. I thought food was something you earned at the end of a long day, not something your body needs to survive that day. Looking back, I can't believe how normal it all felt. The tired afternoons, the shaky hands, the mood swings. I thought that was just adulthood. I didn't realize it was my body quietly breaking down. And the worst part? I ignored the early signs. The yawns, the brain fog, the lightheadedness. They weren't random, they were warnings. But I kept brushing them off. It took fainting for me to really listen. Now, I try to catch the whispers before they become screams. If I wake up hungry, I eat. If I start to feel tired and irritable, I check when I last ate. I carry snacks in my bag. I stop and pause even if I'm in the zone. These aren't big dramatic shifts, they're small choices, but they've changed everything. Because when I feed my body, I can think more clearly. I'm more patient. I don't feel like I'm running on fumes. I'm not stuck in survival mode. I used to think survival was about pushing through, but now I know it's about listening to the signals, to the small aches, to the quiet needs, and giving my body what it's been asking for all along. Food isn't a reward. It's not a treat for finishing your to-do list. It's care. It's connection. It's one of the first ways we learn to love ourselves. And now, after everything, I finally do. Things didn't change overnight, but little by little, I started to feel different. I don't crash in the afternoons anymore. I don't reach for biscuits at 4 p.m. like they're a life raft. I still drink coffee, but now it's with breakfast not instead of it. I pack lunch. I eat it. Even on busy days, sometimes I still forget. But my body reminds me faster now when I listen. My brain works better. My thoughts are clearer. I don't lose my temper over small things. I don't feel like I'm constantly walking on the edge of exhaustion. My moods are steadier. I smile more. I can hold a conversation without counting the minutes until it ends. It's not perfection. It's not a flawless wellness routine. It's presence. I feel present in my body in a way I hadn't felt in years. Before, I treated food like a luxury, something I had to deserve. Now I see it as something basic, something essential. I don't skip meals to prove I'm strong. I don't ignore hunger to feel productive. That mindset nearly broke me. Now, I stop and check in. Did I eat today? Did I pause to nourish myself? Because I've learned that if I don't feed myself, nothing else really works. And more than that, when I eat, when I listen, I feel worthy again. Now, I say something I never used to. I don't earn food, I need it. Food is not a reward. It's not the finish line. It's the foundation. It's how I keep going, how I show up, how I care for the one body I have, not with punishment, but with fuel. Not because I'm weak, but because I'm alive. Moral lesson: eat before you're empty. Listen before it hurts. Self-care starts with fuel. Follow for more real stories about health and healing. Subscribe for adult stories that help you feel human again.